Hi, I'm gonna do underrated movies. I don't think I have that many, but I know I have a few that a lot of people don't talk about. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do four. I think each video maybe yeah. I'm gonna start off with four today, but we'll see how it goes. But um, but I'm also going to talk about a movie from the library that I think is underrated. I don't know if it is, but I just never heard I never heard of it before, so I'm assuming no one really talked about it. But it's Inherit the Wind, and it has Gene Kelly and Spencer Tracy and Harry Morgan, and it's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my entire life. The whole time, I was just like on the edge of my seat and like that's so good because, like, you court movies, shows, you kind of know where it's going. Except, to kill a mockingbird, you know where it's going if you read the book. And that doesn't go the way it usually goes. They win because it's like the good guys win. But Here at the Wind was about the battle of evolution and the Bible and all that. And there's no wrong or right in that situation. So the conversation that they had in the movie was so good, and I feel like it applies now. All the stuff that they were saying applies now too, and it's just amazing. And you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know how it's gonna end because, like I said, it's like there's no right or wrong. They're both. I mean, the person who believes in evolution is right because that's what he believes, and the person who doesn't believe in evolution is right because that's what he believes. Like, it's not like there's anything that the other one could do to change their opinion because that's what they believe. And so it was so good. It was great debates. Spencer gave great speeches. There's a lot of great quotes and moments, and God, it's so good. It also has the actor who played Darren in on Bewitched. That's the one, right? I know there's Demon of Genie and then there's Bewitched. Darren was Bewitched. I know this. I don't remember it right now. But yeah, Darren was the guy that was on trial for talking about evolution. But that was so good. It is. Oh, I had never even heard of it. I went to the library, I saw it there, and I was like, "What? I'll watch it." I was just like, "Okay," and it gave me more than I thought it would, and I would get like again, you need to see it because it's great. Okay, the four that I own. The first is We're Back. And I had seen this a long time ago. Like, I had to be like in elementary school or younger, maybe, and I hadn't seen it in years. My brother and I had the poster in our room, and I just don't, I didn't remember any of it, honestly. But it was still very, I mean, it was good. Again, I don't remember it. Even when I was watching it, I didn't remember any of it. So I must have been pretty young. I remember the Thanksgiving parade scene, but I didn't remember the rest of it. But it's so good and funny and nice, and it has the voices of John Goodman. I love John Goodman. One of my favorite people. Jay Leno, I don't like him. Martin Short, yes, and Thea Perlman, she's cool. So this is very good, so I recommend that. And then next is The Saint of Fort Washington. I have talked about this before. It's okay, and also like I said, I've said many times. I've seen 27 Matt Dillon movies, almost 30 Matt Dillon movies, and this one's my favorite. I haven't seen them all, obviously. There's still some I have to see. But from the ones I have seen, this one's the best, in my opinion. And I've also said The Outside is my favorite movie, but it's not a Matt Dillon movie. It's an ensemble cast. It's not like it's then it's not even Matt Dillon, not even the main character, the main lead. So it's not a Matt Dillon movie, but he's in it. But as the lead in a movie, this is his best one. He will always be Dallas Winston. Always. No one could ever top his performance in that movie because he was so good in that. But this was his lead, as I said, leading role, and he was amazing. Danny Glover, who doesn't love Danny Glover? I don't think there's one person who doesn't love Danny Glover, and if you don't, I don't know why, because he's great. And it also has Joe Seneca. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I just watched a movie that had him and Paul Newman last night called The Verdict, and I love Joe Seneca so much. He has like the friendliest smile I've ever seen, and he just seemed like such a sweet, kind man. So whenever I watch a movie and he comes up, I get so happy because I'm like, oh, I love you so much. Because I'm watching The Verdict, came on, and I instantly smiled because he smiled, and I was like, you have the most beautiful smile ever. Like, I love his smile. But he's passed away, unfortunately now. But Joe Seneca is also in The Crossroads, which I will be talking about later. But yeah, I love Joe Seneca and Danny Glover. And Danny Glover and Matt Dillon have perfect chemistry. They're like so good, obviously. And it's sad. It's had to be apart every time I watch it, but it's so good. It also has Ving Rhames, who found his brother while they were filming it. Tidbit: his brother was in the war, Vietnam, and guess his family moved. And then he was just home in Chicago and lived in Chicago, and his brother went to war, and then like his family moved. And so when they were filming it, Ving saw there's a guy on the street who was like, I'm your brother. And he was like, what? So yeah, he found his brother. That's cool. And Ving plays one of the creepiest villains ever, and he freaks me out every time. But he's very sweet in real life, apparently. So next is Paris When It Sizzles. It's an Audrey Hepburn movie, and I feel like this one is severely underrated. There are people who watch it and don't like it, but I love it so much. It has Liam Holden, and I know this was a really difficult experience for Audrey because William Holden was an alcoholic. I don't know when it started because in Sabrina I don't think he was yet, but he became one heavy alcoholic later down the line. But they dated for a little bit during Sabrina, and they broke up, and then they did this movie, and Audrey was married at the time, and he kept trying to get her to have an affair with him, and he was always drunk. And this scene in the movie where he's gone, like he's just like he's drunk in the scene, and Audrey just looking at him with so much sympathy and like heartbreak, and that scene kind of gets to me like a little bit because it's like it's not acting, it's just like she's like sympathetic, I guess, towards what he's doing, what was happening to him. But anyway, it's really not a sad movie, but it's just like the background of it. Watching the movie with knowing all the history behind it, it gives it another new perspective for me. And I just love Audrey and William together. Their chemistry was perfect. And that's just good, and it's funny, and it's sweet, and I also love Tony Curtis. I'm not a big fan of as a person or actor, but he's in it too. He's not even listed on the back, I guess, because he's not really in it that much, but... And then... Okay. And then, last but not least, is Teachers. Ralph Macchio, I love him. As I mentioned before, when I got Teachers, like, you couldn't find The Outsiders, you can find the Karate Kid series, that's fine. But, like, other Ralph Macchio movies, they're hard to find, and I don't know why. I don't get it. I love Ralph a lot, but I just wish his movies are easier to find. And this one was, I did not pay $36, but I did pay a lot for it because I really wanted it. But it's like Nick Nolte is fantastic in it. It has Laura Dern. I think it's her first. She's not a person yet. Like she's not, yeah, on the back of this because she's not like Laura Dern. It has her name here, but that's about it. And also has Morgan Morgan Freeman, and he is not listed on the back at all, nowhere. So I don't know if this is his first movie or one of his first movies or what. But Morgan Freeman is not even listed. Like it's not. It's just like it has Laura Dern, it has Ralph Macchio, Crispin Glover, Richard Mulligan, who is amazing in this movie, and then Lee Grant. But no Morgan Freeman. Um, but Richard Mulligan was so good in this movie. I almost forgot about him, but he was fantastic in this. He plays this guy who like mentally ill or whatever. I don't know what he has, but he's something off with him, and he ended up becoming a sub in this school. And he's like the best teacher there, and he's not a teacher, and he's just amazing. He played Bert on Soap, and I love him on Soap. I just think he was great, and he was hilarious. But yeah, so those are all the movies I recommend. This went a lot longer than I was thinking it was going to be, but that is all. Goodbye.